Yo, what's going on, you guys? Andrew back with another video, and today I've got a double unboxing that I am super excited to talk about. So a little bit of preference beforehand. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. For those of you who are not, you may know that the Air Max 90 is one of my favorite sneaker models of all time. As far as the entire Air Max line, to me, they stand out the most. As the name suggests, they came out in 1990, 30 years ago, and for the 30th anniversary, Nike is going to start coming out with different iterations of the sneaker. One of which I'm hoping is the infrared Air Max 90, because that is my favorite sneaker of all time if I had to pick one. I have a pair already. For those of you who didn't see that unboxing, go ahead and check that out. But I have one pair of those. I wouldn't mind having another. And from what I understand, Nike's going to be coming out with these recrafted versions. They've already come out with an all-white pair and several different colorways for both men and women. And today I've got two of those colorways to unbox. So let's just jump right into the unboxing. Alright, you guys, so having unboxed these, we've got the two pairs of Air Maxes right here. Now, some of you may be wondering, what kind of box is this? Now, for those of you who don't know, this is the original styling that the boxes came in back in 1990 and surrounding years. So for comparison, I have a box from the previous video, the Air Max 90, and you can see that the box sizing is very different. So these are a little bit closer to the size of a Vans box than they are an Air Max 90 box. So let's get right into the shoe itself. Now this pair in the Volt box is the Volt colorway, as you guys can see right there. They are a bit pressed in there, which, okay, yeah, I was afraid of this. So as you guys can see, yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I'm going to get a close-up shot of these in a second, but as you guys can see, because of the way the box is sized, they did come in a little pressed in. They look like they were packed in like sardines, to be honest with you. That's a bit disappointing, and I'm not a big fan of that at all. So yeah, there's a little up-close and personal look at how the shoes were kind of stored. You guys can see that's not normal. I mean, I can store them differently, but they can't really go back in the box the same way. That's a bit disappointing. Alright, so I'm just going to put that information off to the side. Hopefully I could just make it through this video without talking too much about that, but I'm a bit disappointed by that. As you guys can see, you got the Air Max 90 in the Volt colorway. Now this is actually the women's release of the Air Max 90. Thankfully I wear a size 8.5 to a 9 depending on the shoe, and that size goes up to about 10.5 in women's. So I was able to get my size in this colorway, and this is one that I was a really big fan of, to be honest with you. There's something about putting Volt on an old school Nike sneaker that I really like. So moving along, you do have this Nike Air hang tag that matches the Volt colorway, which I think is super dope. I really like that feature. I think it's a nice little added touch. You've got that Volt color coming along the bottom in that classic zigzag style. Comes up to the wedge. You have Volt on the heel where the Nike Air sits in black. Eyelets, tongue, the inside of the tongue, which I think is a nice touch, and of course the insole are all in Volt. As far as the quality of the shoe goes, I'm a bit on the comparative side. So I'll take, for example, the 2015 Air Max 90 that I did an unboxing for and never actually ended up making a cleaning video for. When you take this shoe that has been worn and it's a little bit older, and when you compare it to a brand new Air Max 90, there's a few things that stand out about the new version. And the first thing would be the toe box. Looking at them side by side, the toe box on the new Air Max 90 is a bit more pointed, and it kind of has that classic runner shoe silhouette, which is something that the Air Max 90 and other models in the Air Max line, when they're retros, they've not had that same toe box shape. So obviously with the Air Max 90 2015, you can see it kind of boxes out a little bit, whereas the Air Max 90 is pointed in that classic runner style. You have the same white mesh on the toe box that will yellow over time. You know, obviously with wear, with sweat coming from your foot, it's going to get a little bit yellow over time, but nothing really you can do about that except enjoy the characteristics of the shoe as they age. The liner on the inside of the shoe feels a bit more soft than the 2015 version, and I did have the 2015s when they were brand new, so I can kind of understand what happens to them over time. They may start to pill a little bit, you may get some lint attached to it, but these feel very, very soft. And of course the biggest difference between the Air Max 90 Infrared and the Volt Color is that Nike Air hang tag, which I think is a part of that commemorative 30-year anniversary bit that I was talking about at the beginning of the video. Now, one thing that I find fascinating is that alongside the shoes is a pair of anatomical arch supports that came in a little plastic bag. Now, this anatomical arch support feels very much like something you would see in an original box. The design and everything about it, something about it feels very 90s. If you're a child of the 90s and you remember different products coming out, you kind of get that same vibe. Like it's a bit older, like they weren't quite sure how they wanted to present these additional products yet. I don't know where I'm really going with that. I just think it's very interesting that they would include some arch supports like the original Air Max 90 would. I don't exactly know how they're going to fit in there. They feel very simple, so I don't exactly know what to do with these yet. I'm going to put them off to the side because I don't exactly need arch supports, but maybe down the line when I'm older and my feet start to hurt a little bit more, I might need them. So I'm going to put my sardined Air Max 90 Volts off to the side for right now, and we're going to get right into the Hyper Royal colorway, which is the next one. Now this is actually a men's sneaker, so it came in men's sizing, same shaped box, same sardined style packaging. So there you guys have it. It's I'm not the biggest fan of this. I'm not the biggest fan of this at all. I understand where Nike's coming from. I don't really like that. So there are those arch supports again. And as with the Volt Color, you have the Hyper Royal hang tag right there. Now, aside from the fact that this just doesn't look like a very appealing product when it's smashed down like that, this is my biggest problem. I don't know if we can focus in on that. Let's focus in on this real quick. Nothing that can't actually be fixed, but like what is the deal there? Also, I'm very confused as to what this is. I've never in my life seen a piece of thread pop out by the mudguard right there. That's a serious issue for me. That's a serious issue for me. Alright, so seeing that little thread on the Hyper Royal pair is making me want to go back and inspect the Volt pairs for any kind of damage or quality control mistakes. And yeah, that's just a shame. Yeah, same toe box issue. I don't know if you guys can see that same toe box issue on the Volt pair. I was kind of a little bit blind to. Anyway, I'm going to put my quality control grievances to the side for right now, just because this is a pair of shoes I really want to talk about, and they're here with me. So aside from, of course, the colorway and the gender sizing, the Hyper Royal pair does not have a whole lot of differences with the Volt pair. To show you a little side-by-side comparison, the Hyper Royal does have that pointed toe aesthetic that the Air Max 90 Infrared did not. Now, the Hyper Royal pair shares a lot of the same similarities to the Volt pair, so I don't really have to talk about too much, but I do need to talk about quality and quality control, and the simple fact that it's not there on these pairs. I'm very disappointed, to be quite honest. I'm very, very disappointed with the result of these Air Max 90 Retros. Like I said, I've been a very big fan of the Air Max 90 for a very long time, and these pairs were something that I was really looking forward to, not only as a sneaker collector, but as a fan of the Air Max 90. I wanted to have that retro or original shape. I wanted to have that original feeling when you took the shoes out of the box and you got to see them for the very first time. And again, I really don't want to be too nitpicky, but I don't know if the camera's really picking up a lot of these paint flaws, but it's very serious. It's a very serious issue that they're having. You can take a look right here. Some paint that pops up not even close to where paint needs to be. And of course, the fact that they came like this, that should have been nipped in the bud right away. You guys can see, I don't know if the camera's really picking it up. There's a lot of paint issues with these pairs. Alright, so let's just be very honest with ourselves here. This wasn't an unboxing that went quite the way that I wanted to. So like I said, I've been a big fan of the Air Max 90 for a long time. I can't stress that enough. When the 2015 pair came out, I had them, wore them, loved them, appreciated them. I was able to store them with no problem. Now with each of these, it's very clear to me what Nike was intending to do, and it's very clear that they got close to accomplishing that task. So the biggest issue I have with these pairs is the box that they're coming in. It's way too small. It's unnecessarily small. They're packed in there like sardines, and there's nothing that you can really do to fix that unless you're using another box. I've got plenty of empties right here that I can just store the shoes in, but when you reach for that shoe box, you want that shoe to be in there. And you don't necessarily want them to be smashed up or compressed in that box that they're supposed to be stored in. So right out the gate, I understand what they were doing. I just don't think that this was the right move at all. Now, second, and honestly, this is the part that I'm not surprised about, but this is the part that really bugs the crap out of me, is the quality control. Now, this is something I've never seen this issue, like this little thread popping out. I've never in my life seen that issue before on a pair of Air Maxes, or any shoe really. Never. And I'm really contemplating whether I try to fix it myself, whether I just send them back, because that's something that I really just have never seen before. That's so wild to me. So I really don't know what to say. I really don't know what to do. Let me know in the comments what you guys would do in a situation like this. Maybe I'll take your advice as soon as this video is uploaded. But yeah, aside from the creased toe boxes that result from the shoes being compressed, aside from the crap quality control, the paint issues, the whatever, I can't say I'm not a fan of these sneakers. The Hyper Royal pair was one I was a little hesitant about. I was really into the Volt colorway. The Hyper Royal one I'm really into as well. I just love blue, white, and black, blue and white. I love those combinations of colors on a sneaker, and I think the Air Max 90 is a perfect silhouette for a colorway like that. Just, God, I don't know. Man, I'm really disappointed. Now that being said, I do plan on wearing these when the weather gets a little bit nicer. I do plan on putting some miles on each of these because I'm a huge fan of the Air Max 90. So it may not be the end of the world that they're a little bit worn, that they're a little bit, you know, the paint's a little bit chipped here and there, because to me they're just a pair of shoes that I really wanted to wear. So who knows, maybe I'll suck it up, but Nike really needs to fix this. Now anyone else in a situation like this might be inclined to send them back, and I'd say go for it. By all means, send them back. This is ridiculous. This should not happen with a multi-billion-dollar company like Nike. Anyway, let me know in the comments section below what you guys think. Let me know if you wanted to, let me know if you would send them back. Let me know if you picked up any of these recrafted Air Max 90s. That reminds me, actually, these are supposed to be recrafted. Where? All I can say is where. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I actually really do like this box. On the side here, it says, Nike sports shoes are manufactured to the exact specifications of champion athletes throughout the world. Nowhere does it say anything about them being recrafted, though. Let me pull up the Sneakers app real quick. You know it's a disappointing review when you have to go back to the Sneakers app for reference. The latest version uses okay, so this is for the Hyper Royal color. The latest version uses luxury materials and an eye-catching Hyper Royal colorway to show off the shoe's signature shapes that true fans can recognize from blocks away. So that's kind of nice, but alright, so just for reference, I'm using the Air Max 90 2015 as a reference here. So the little suede or nubuck is obviously a bit more rough on this pair because it's been worn a lot. And I guess the liner is a bit more luxurious feeling on this pair. Alright, so the leather on the mudguard is a significantly nicer. But it's not something you'd notice without having both pairs in your hand, so it's a bit disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. Alright guys, so obviously I'm a bit disappointed with these two new unboxings, but I'm still gonna do it on feet for you guys. I'm still gonna show you guys, you know, what they look like, so you guys can make a better decision whether or not you'd like to purchase them. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys are a fan of the Air Max 90 or if you've purchased any of the new Air Max 90s, and let me know what you think. Of course, this has been a little bit of a longer video, so I really appreciate you guys sticking around for that. Yeah, well, we'll see. I could have made it a two-part video, but I really didn't want to because that just seemed like kind of a hacky thing to do. Anyway, thank you again for watching. If you watched all the way through, hit that like button, comment below what you guys think, and of course subscribe for more content if you enjoyed this. And if you want to see some on-feet shots or some sneaker pictures on your Instagram feed, you can follow me on Instagram at DrewReviews. That will be in the description box as well. So thank you guys so much again for watching. If you enjoyed it, like I said, hit that like button, comment below what you think, and of course subscribe for more content. Until next time guys, this is Andrew signing off. Peace.